There's something deeply human about leaving a light on in the dark. We do it in our homes. We do it for comfort. In theaters, that instinct became a tradition. When the curtain falls and the applause fades into memory, one small light refuses to leave the stage. It flickers in the silence, not for the audience, not for the actors, but for something unseen. In theaters around the world, a single light bulb burns through the night, guarding the past, lighting the present, and quietly insisting that the show, in some form, is never truly over. Now, what began as a practical necessity has evolved into something far more meaningful. A symbol of memory, mystery, and the quiet belief that even when the world goes dark, something is still there. Welcome to That's Life, I Swear. This podcast is about life's happenings in this world that conjure up such words as intriguing, frightening, life-changing, inspiring, and more. I'm Rick Barron, your host. That said, here's the rest of this story. When the last actor takes a bow, when the stagehands pack up their tools, and the audience files out into the night, a theater does not go fully dark. Left alone on the bare stage, often atop a simple rolling stand, is a single bare bulb, burning through the hours of silence. This is known as the ghost light, one of the most enduring and treasured traditions in the world of performing arts. Now, simple in form, yet rich in meaning, it sits at the intersection of practical necessity and theatrical methodology, illuminating the darkened stage with an amber glow that has comforted generations of theater folks. To outsiders, the ghost light may seem like a quirky ritual, a charming vanity of a superstitious profession. But to actors, directors, stagehands, and theater managers alike, it is something far more elementary. It is a guardian of the space, a beacon for wandering spirits, and a humble acknowledgement that the theater, even when empty, is never truly without life. The most straightforward explanation for the ghost light is deeply unglamorous. It exists so that no one falls in the orchestra pit. But the advent of modern building codes and reliable emergency lighting, a large theater at night was a genuinely dangerous place. The stage is elevated, trapdoors lurk beneath the boards, and curtains, rigging, and cables create invisible hazards for anyone moving through the space in total darkness. Late-night clearing crews, early morning stagehands, and the theater managers checking on equipment all need to navigate these spaces very safely. A single working light placed center stage where it could cast the broadest possible illumination became the standard solution. The practice was particularly widespread in Broadway houses and major regional theaters throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, when the scale of theatrical productions meant enormous stages with complex mechanical systems. The Actors Equality Association, the American labor union representing professional stage actors and managers, formally codified the use of the ghost light in its workplace safety rules. The union's regulations have long required that a light be left burning on the stage whenever a theater is unoccupied and fully dark. This institutional recognition transformed what may have begun as an informal common sense into a mandated professional standard across every equity theater in the United States, including the storied houses of Broadway. While safety concerns explain the ghost light's practical function, they do little to account for the profound emotional weight the tradition carries among theater professionals. For that, one must turn to superstition, an arena where actors and stagehands are remarkably prolific. Theater people are almost universally deeply superstitious. They refuse to whistle backstage. They refer to Shakespearean's Scottish play only as the Scottish play, and what they're really talking about is Macbeth, to avoid invoking its supposed curse. And they wish each other bad luck, like break a leg, rather than good luck before performances. It is entirely in keeping with this culture that the ghost light carries a second, more haunting purpose. It is left burning for the ghosts. The belief, widespread and sincerely held in many theatrical circles, is that every theater accumulates the spirits of performers who love the stage so deeply they just cannot leave it, even in death. These theatrical ghosts, some beloved, some mischievous, are thought to remain active in the space between performances, wandering the wings, rehearsing old roles, and maintaining a ghostly connection to the art form that defined their lives. The ghost light is love for them, a courtesy lamp, a welcoming signal, kind of a small act of hospitality extended to those who cannot move on. An alternative interpretation holds that the light is not merely welcoming to spirits, but actively protecting against them. Now, I'm not making this up. By providing the resident ghost with its own light, its own designated presence in the space, theater workers ensure the spirit has no need to interfere with the living or disrupt productions. The ghost light under this reading is a form of appeasement, rather a nightly negotiation with the supernatural. Pinpointing the exact origin of the ghost light tradition is as elusive as pinpointing the origin of any theatrical superstition. Now, by most accounts, it emerged organically in the major theater centers of the English-speaking world during the 1800s, as permanent theatrical venues replaced touring companies and makeshift performance spaces. As purpose-built theaters became grander and more elaborate, with gas lighting systems than electric illumination, complex fly systems, and orchestra pits, the need for a permanent after-hours safety light became increasingly apparent. Now, the term ghost light itself is not easily traced to a single coinage. Theater historians believe it was in common vernacular use in both Boston's West End and New York's Broadway district by at least the early 20th century. Now, by that era, the tradition was well established enough that it already had acquired its dual identity, both a practical tool and a ghost-related ritual, suggesting its roots reach back considerably further. The great Broadway manager, David Belasco, who dominated the American theater scene from the 1880s through the 1920s, was well known for his deep attachment to theatrical tradition and his belief in the spiritual power of the stage. Belasco, who was often photographed in his signature clerical collar and was nicknamed the Bishop of Broadway, cultivated a mystical persona that embraced the idea of theaters as spiritually inhabited spaces. Now, historians of Broadway credit figures like Belasco with reinforcing and popularizing theatrical superstitions, including the care and reverence surrounding the ghost light during the golden age of American stagecraft. The ghost light tradition resonates particularly with the many famous theaters that have well-documented supernatural reputations. The Palace Theater, long considered the crown jewel of vaudeville and one of Broadway's most celebrated houses, is said to be haunted by a circus performer named Louis Borsellino, who was killed in a trapeze accident at the theater in 1910. According to theater lore, Borsellino's ghost had been encountered by countless performers over the decades, and the ghost light at the palace is said to burn especially brightly for him. The New Amsterdam Theater, one of Broadway's most magnificent houses, has a particularly rich ghost story. Olive Thomas, a Ziegfeld Follies star who died tragically in Paris in 1920, is said to haunt the theater where she performed. Staff and performers at the New Amsterdam have reported seeing Thomas's apparition over the years, often described as a shimmering figure in a beaded gown. The theater, now home to Disney theatrical productions after a landmark renovation in the 1990s, continues to maintain the ghostlight tradition with particular care. In recent decades, the ghostlight has taken on new layers of meaning, becoming not just a safety measure or a supernatural courtesy, but a symbol of theatrical resilience and the enduring promise of live performance. When Broadway went dark in March of 2020, shutting down entirely due to the COVID-19 pandemic and an unprecedented closure that would last over a year, ghost lights burned on the empty stages of every darkened house. Photographs of these bulbs glowing on bare stages became powerful symbols, shared widely as expressions of grief, hope, and the conviction that theater would return. Producers, stagehands, and arts advocates pointed to these burning lights as a testament to the unkilling spirit of the theater itself. The ghost light in this moment transcended into origins and became something closer to a national symbol, an affirmation that art cannot be extinguished, only paused. Today, virtually every professional theater in the United States and the United Kingdom maintains the ghost light tradition. Its physical form is humble. It's typically a simple mental stand, a standard light socket, and a bare bulb or cage LED, and yet no object in the theatrical world is treated with more quiet reverence. Stagehands take the responsibility of setting out the ghost light seriously, and many report a small but genuine comfort in the act, a sense of continuity with the generations of theater workers who performed the same small ritual before them. The ghost light is, at its heart, a story about what theaters mean to the people who inhabit them. Yes, it is a safety device and a ghost story. It is a union mandate and an act of faith. It is a natural ritual of closure and an external promise of return. In a profession built on brief moments, every performance unique, existing once and never again in quite the same form, the ghost light offers something rare: permanence. It burns through the night, through every dark and silent hour, holding the space until the actors come back. From the gas-lit stages of Victorian London to the dark Broadway houses of a global pandemic, from the superstitions of David Belasco's era to the LED safety standards of the modern theater, the ghost light has endured because it speaks to something true about this ancient and irrepressible art form. You see, the theater is never truly empty. The light is always on, and somewhere, in the shadows beyond that small amber glow, the ghosts are still performing. So what can we learn from this story? What's the takeaway? The central message of this story is this: what began as a simple safety measure, don't fall into the orchestra pit, evolved into something symbolic and even spiritual. That's just human nature. We don't just solve problems. We wrap them in a story. The ghost light shows how meaning is often layered after the fact, and yet it becomes just as real as the original purpose. Well, there you go, my friends. That's life, I swear. For further information regarding the material covered in this episode, I invite you to visit my website, which can be found on Apple Podcasts, for show notes and the episode transcript. As always, I thank you for the privilege of you listening and your interest. Be sure to subscribe here or wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode, and we'll see you soon.